अपने चारों तरफ की ये दुनिया अपने चारों तरफ की ये दुनिया अपने चारों तरफ की ये दुनिया.
Advice for incorporation of ideas in new spheric constitution. I, Professor Surya Nath Prasad from India, founder and editor-in-chief, Peace Education and International Journal, and formerly president and currently executive vice president of International Association of Educators for World Peace, would like to express my views on the theme innovative new constitution of integrated manifestation of self-culture through peace education for human survival. The latent theme of my speech is peace education as solution of terrorism and other forms of violence. I advise the section 5 of the forum to incorporate the ideas and concepts stated in my speech in the article of new spheric ethical ecological constitution for mankind. Miseducation and non-education cause the violence. Miseducation for a few privileged, well-to-do, and non-education for many deprived have caused the problem of poverty, population, pollution, violence, war, terrorism, ethical crisis, and ecological imbalance. Hence, in the world, there is brute culture, culture of silence or mood culture, masculine culture, sick culture, culture of war, violence, and intolerance. Man is missing from us. Except education of man, we have all types of education. However, for a few privileged. And these educations make a few doctors, engineers, lawyers, teachers, and other professionals, minus man. And many are deprived of these educations. In this sense, the present education destroys those to whom it reaches, it destroys those to whom it is denied. We are people of different nations, faiths, relations, races, but we are not man. Man, humanity, is missing from us. Hence, we are exploiting, oppressing, fighting and killing each other. What is peace education? Peace education is education of man, humanity. It is a manifestation of seeds of integral culture of body, vitality, mind, intellect and spirit. These elements constitute every man and woman without any discrimination of race, caste, creed, language, nationality and other differences. And this education will continue perpetually till the end of life of every man and woman, unfolding integrally the treasure of physical, vital, mental, intellectual and spiritual cultures within leading them to be just, peaceful and non-violent. Peace education against all privileges. The idea of privilege is brutal and tyrannical. No man or woman is superior to another. No person is privileged to any one of elements, either physical or vital or mental or intellectual or spiritual, or a few or all. Hence, peace education based on 5 elements of man and woman is utterly against all privileges. Therefore, this peace education would consider all men and women equally endowed with these 5 elements to be manifested integrally. Concept of twofold peace education. Peace education based on 5 elements of man and woman would be twofold, namely integral peace education and compensatory peace education. Integral peace education will be for coming generation who are supposed their 5 elements are uncorrupt, uncrippled, raw, pure and very prone to be unfolded. Compensatory peace education will be for today's crippled generation. We are all crippled, some physically, some vitally, some mentally, some intellectually, some spiritually, and many are crippled in all parts of their body. Hence, we all need compensatory peace education for recovery of our integral, physical, vital, mental, intellectual, and spiritual health. Caution towards prevalent peace education. I wish to caution the highly enlightened participants of World Forum of Spiritual Culture towards prevalent peace education as values as its content, and methodology of teaching as indoctrination and regimentation in the courses of peace education and other educations in the universities and colleges of different nation states. Though this is in a very few nations. Existing peace education may be any other type of education, but it is not in any way peace education. A very few have access to the practiced peace education by paying very high fees, even though it fails to make them peaceful. However, it helps them in getting high salaries posts. A clarion call to adopt peace education for solution of terrorism and violence. I would like to give a clarion call to adopt peace education which can enable people to solve the problems of terrorism and other forms of violence and make them just and non-violent. The leaders and heads of different societies and the nation states must be aware about peace education based on 5 elements of man and woman to be manifested integrally till the end of their lives. Then they will be able to solve the violence of hunger, disease and ignorance by applying, planning and executing the distributive justice in making the resources to reach to all about 6 billion people in the world, because the world has the enough resources to meet the needs of 15 billion people. And they will also be able to solve the problems of genocide, ethnic cleansing and global terrorism by replacing retributive justice of law, which is meant for punishing offenders, with restorative justice of law, which would create a more crime-free local as well as global society. I strongly advise the leaders and heads of terrorists and non-terrorists both, who having the same 5 elements to be manifested integrally, to meet for dialogue, for non-violence and peace. And for this job, I propose the name of the NGO World Forum of Spiritual Culture to take the leadership role to organize the global meet on the theme as cited above in near future. Words of gratitude and appreciation. Last but not least, I express my sincere thanks to Professor Livo Gordina, Mr. T. Mohammed Zanov, the government of Kazakhstan and the organizing committee of the World Forum of Spiritual Culture for their kind invitation to me to take active part in the events of the forum and for taking responsibility to cover my travel and accommodation expenses for participation at the forum. I appreciate wholeheartedly Professor Livo Gordina and Dr. Michael U. Limonard for taking pen to pen no spirit ethical ecological constitution for mankind as co-authors.
अपने चारों तरफ की ये दुनिया